welcome to High Point Music's Gear Reviews. I'm Lewis, and today I'm going to take you through the Klon KTR OverDrive. So the Klon KTR OverDrive is the current model of the Klon OverDrive that was originally produced in the 90s and became incredibly popular due to the popularity and how much the vintage units sell for on the second-hand market. The designer Bill Finnegan released the KTR version, the reissue of that. So it's a great pedal for doing some overdrive sounds, and those overdrive sounds include a clean boost, a treble boost, a more dirty overdrive sound, as well as its ability to do some cutting and some boosting to all of those volume, all of those EQ settings, giving you a range of EQ options to make it a tool that you can use to shape your amp sounds and other pedal sounds, or just use it by itself. So we'll jump in and show you through the controls. The connections for those at home are the input connection here, which our guitar connects to. Our output connection's going to our 2-note Clean. We're running it from a 9-volt DC power supply. I'm playing my Fender Strat. This is what it sounds like. The neck pickup, bridge pickup, sorry. Some neck. And we'll just go through the controls. So we've got our gain control here, our treble control, and our output or volume control. We'll turn it on and show you some of those clean sounds. So at the moment I've got the gain almost all the way off and the treble at about 930 sort of thing. You can hear it's just doing a little bit of warmth, a little bit of mid-range and treble boost. So great as an EQ shaping device, something just to give you an alternative tone or to reshape your entire guitar signal going into maybe an unfamiliar amp. So we'll dial the gain forward a little bit and hear what the range of the gain control can do. So in here it gets into quite a reasonable overdrive of that point. I'll dial that back a little bit and work through some tone settings as well, but that's basically how you go from an overdrive sound to a clean boost sound or back and forth. So just a little bit of break up there. And then our treble control. It does comment in the manual that if you're going to start off with the Klon and you've not used it before, to just not set the treble to the middle position. That will be boosting the treble a fair bit. So I prefer to kind of start down here at about 9, where you're going to get a little bit of cut, but then you can also dial in the boost depending on the frequency boost, depending on where your guitar sits in the frequency range. So a little bit of treble. Getting very bright. Maybe too bright for my ears. Want some neck. Through a dark sounding amplifier, the treble control is probably not too bright at its maximum setting. It's a little bit bright in here at the moment, but the The big trick with that is you can set your tone really reasonably clean and dial that treble control forward until the frequency response sounds excited or just has enough of that high frequency to turn your proverbial head when it gets played. So I'll show you some of that with some higher gain. Start back where we were. The other interesting thing about the Klon KTR is that the gain control also blends clean signal in as you turn it up. So the more distorted a signal you work with, you get some clarity and some boldness from the uncompressed clean tone that would hit your input signal. So about 9 on the tone, or on the treble rather. Dial it up a bit. Quite bright again once we get past that 12 o'clock position, but on the neck, quite high there. So you can hear that you get the range out of the treble boost. It's great as an EQ shaper, and with the tone control, with the treble control reasonably high, the neck pickups sound pretty good. Might be a little bit too sharp on some bridge pickups, but again, if you've got a EQ change you want to make, maybe between a couple of different guitars and you want to just shape that sound a little bit, or boost your amplifier into distortion, or just use it as a distortion, the Klon has really got some great features that you can use. The volume control has a lot of output, so if you want to use it as a solo boost or use it to diminish or turn down a guitar signal that's too loud before your amp or the pedal before it, it's absolutely got the range to do so. The only other control that the Klon has that you probably can't see from there is just on the side here, there's a buffer switch, and the Klon buffer is quite a popular tool that gets used on guitar rigs and that sort of thing for minimizing your signal loss. So it tricks or impersonates the input stage of a valve amplifier. So that's great if you're running long cables on stage, or you've got a big pedal board, or maybe you just like the sound of the buffered signal. If you don't like the sound of the buffered signal, you can slide that switch across, and when you turn the pedal on and off, it will go into true bypass mode, and that means your guitar signal passes through the circuit and doesn't get affected by the OverDrive circuit in any way when it's off. So a great little trick there. Most people would probably leave it on. So that's the Klon KTR OverDrive. It's got a great range of controls. It's a reasonably small size. It's not the smallest OverDrive pedal that we've ever seen, but it's certainly smaller than the original. It's pretty good value for money, and I've played a fair bit of it through some transistor amps and some valve amps here in the studio and at a guitar shop, and it's absolutely got the goods. So if you're interested in checking one of these out, you can follow the links below to do so and grab one for yourself. They really do sound great. If you want to see some more of this kind of thing, don't forget to check out our blog area. We've got some tips and tricks on how to use different pedals and stacking pedals in there that the Klon definitely fits in with. Follow our social media, give us a like, share, or subscribe. We do appreciate the feedback, and I'll see you next week.